Hey everyone, today I am going to do a demonstration slash review of some Gabriel products that were sent for me to test and try out, and it's been a little while now. I do like to give myself some time to test out some products where maybe initially I don't like something. I try to find a way to make it work, or maybe I love something but then find out that it doesn't work as well as I thought it did. So I think I am now ready to be able to do that. What they sent was the color correcting primer, which is the Anti-Blotchiness one. It's a green, it's like the greenish color that a lot of people will see. I've tried other ones in the past, and this is my first time trying this one. They also sent me their oil-free foundation, and it has an SPF of 18. It was in the color L6. It's a little bit off color for me, which I'll show you, but I'll talk about the formula as well. And they also sent a lip gloss, which I have talked about, in the color Mischief, and I talked about this in a couple of favorites. It's this one here. I don't know why I'm showing you the boxes and the product, whatever. And the lip liner crown in Fresh, which is this one. So I will go ahead and I guess just demonstrate that for you. The first product I will put on is the color correcting primer, and I will say that the first time that I tried this, it was a disaster. I am used to the primers or something that you rub on and it rubs in very easily, and this was not it. I do have a picture of what that looked like, and I will insert it here. So I did have to play with it, and I went online and saw what other people did with it. Brianna actually has a video on this, and about how it's hard to blend in. So it is something that you do need time to work with. You can't just like slap it on really quick. So I'm going to use my George's Aloe and wet my face a little bit, and then I'll probably have to use more as I am applying it. Right? And you can use a brush if you want. I find it easier to work with my hands. Oh, and see, and already I have put too much, so I'm going to wipe this off. And I have to work in like smaller batches as well, but even though it's wet, like you see how, I mean, it's very, very pigmented. And so it is kind of weird. I don't know. It's not something that I would use on a day-to-day basis just because it's harder to work with, but it does do a good job at helping to cancel out the redness once you put the foundation on. But you really don't need a lot. I only put a little bit on, and as you saw, it was it's a lot. So getting it wet helps spread it out. So I don't know, it's I'm lazy, so I would not do this daily, but I would probably do it if I know that I'm going to be taking pictures, like family pictures or whatnot, or a day where you especially want your skin to look prime, you know, you really want it to look good. And so I mostly have that blended out. There are some spots that will still kind of have that bluish tint, or I guess like bluish green tint, but it pretty much goes away once you put the foundation on. Now the foundation is actually a good formula. Something that I would suggest or just caution you on is that it is very liquidy. So when it comes out pretty fast. And so I would prefer, I think, to have it like in a pump bottle so that I can control more of what comes out. And so I end up either putting it on a brush or putting it on my hands. So this one, let's see, now that it's winter, it's especially not quite my color. And again, a little goes a long way, and I put too much. So I am just really overestimating how much I need. Well, it might work out, but it's a lot. It's more orange for my skin tone, or it just might be too dark. But yeah, it's not quite my color. But the formula is nice. Now I'm gonna have to really work on blending this out. So the other thing that I did notice is that when I put it on top of the primer, it is harder to blend out than if I put it on without the primer. But I wanted to show you what it was like with the primer. Putting it on without is just like any other foundation. But it's just kind of, I feel like I have to really work it, you know? I'm gonna put a little bit of the owl on my brush and just try to work some of that out there. And hopefully you can see that it does provide a good level of coverage. They did ask me when they had asked what products I would be interested in. I did express that I'm always on the hunt for a good foundation. And the hard part is that I do have red skin. My cheeks and my chin and my nose all tend to get red very, very easily. And then that shows through. So I don't feel like I can go makeup free, but a lot of makeup that covers that redness, it covers more than I want it to cover. So it'll cover my freckles. Like, I don't mind my freckles. I like my freckles. And so it does cover it up, but it's not terrible though. You can still see them. As far as the powder, they did send me the powder. I think I forgot to mention that. They sent me a powder, and this is in D14. And I'm wondering if I should have just did one face foundation and then one with this, because I have put this on without anything else, just to give myself a little bit of something. It doesn't last that long when I use it with just the powder, but if I just need something to run out of the house and I want to look somewhat normal and not so blotchy, I'll put it on. I'll try one side first and see if it even, ooh, let me just pull my nose ring out. Let's see. I am using like the little sponge thing. I should probably just use my blush brush or powder brush. So it doesn't darken it up too much. I'll do the rest with an actual brush. There we go. So it doesn't darken it up too much. I don't know if you'll be able to tell the difference. What I can tell when I put it on is it really does set the foundation, and kind of like even my pores will appear a little bit smaller. They're not as apparent when I do that side, but I can tell that it is just a little bit darker than this side. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side just to make it uniform as I finish the rest of my makeup. But the powder does work for some quick coverage. It's just not all day lasting coverage. And I do set it with George's Aloe to help it be prolonged just a little bit longer. So the next product is their lip liner. I am really bad at using lip liner. It's never been something that is a regular staple in my beauty routine, and it probably should be, because I do have issues with lipstick running or feathering. But I've always just had a hard time with lip crayons for whatever reason. But I like this one because it did come in a very neutral color. It goes pretty well with my lips. And I don't use it so often that I don't even know if I'm doing it right most of the time. I just fill them in. So there's the lip lining process. And I can't really compare it to really any other lip liners just because I really don't use it that often. When I put it on, it feels a little on the dry side. I do have to tug. Sometimes I'll put just a littlest bit of moisture on my lips just to help it glide better. But then once it's on, it doesn't feel like dry. I don't feel like there's moisture being sucked out of my lips or anything. And then their lip gloss, which I have featured as a favorite, I just use that on top. I really like this color. And it's a very, it's moisturizing. It's not very sticky. And I have found that with a lot of more natural lip glosses that they tend to be really thin and they evaporate quickly. And that's something that I have found really annoying, where this has more of a thicker consistency to it, and it does last longer, and it is moisturizing. And so I've really enjoyed their formula of lip gloss. And so overall, I wonder, should I just finish my makeup? Maybe I should. No. Yeah, I'm gonna finish my makeup and then I'll come back and talk about the products. Okay, so the rest of my face is done, and then I did set it with my George's Aloe Spray, and that's how I get a little bit longer lasting foundation that way if I just have some sort of setter. If you have a makeup setter that you just love and it helps you keep your makeup on all day long, please leave me a comment. So I'll go through the products really quick, like now that I've used them. For the color correcting primer, this is a difficult one because I do think that it does have a good effect on the skin. It really does help the redness, the blotchiness, but it's a pain in the tush to work with, to be honest with you. I think if you're taking your time doing your makeup, then it's fine. Sometimes that can be a good thing. You're just doing whatever. And I will use that for those times when I have time to really take some extra time to make sure that my skin is looking as flawless as I can get it. But I just wish that there were an easier way to work with this. Just the way that it goes on, and the way that it feels when I'm trying to put my foundation on over it, it's just kind of hard. So I don't know that I would repurchase this. I am going to use it, but I think that it's going to take me a very long time to go through. And I would have to really assess that at that point in time. But I would be more on the hunt for something that is easier to work with. I'm sure that there's probably a product that works just as well, that isn't as complicated. Maybe there's a different formula that they could use to make it easier. It's just when it says primer, it's not, this isn't what came to mind, I guess. Does that make sense? So that is what I think of that product. As far as the foundation, I like the texture. I like the way that it goes on. It is smooth, except for when I'm putting it on over the primer, but it goes on well. The color isn't exactly my color, but as far as the formula goes, I feel like it is a good formula. It doesn't last all day long, and I've never found a foundation that stays on my face from morning until night. That it just doesn't happen. I do get a little bit more longevity when I use a primer, but it is a foundation that I would use. I would like to find a color that is more my tone. I think it worked, but especially during the winter, this isn't going to work for me. But it is just a little bit more on the orangey side for my skin tone. But I do think that it is a nice product. It is a bit pricey for the size, but you don't need a ton, so that kind of works. I would definitely be very careful with how much you put on. Sometimes I've had foundation where I've had to do like 2 pumps to get my whole face done. This is not the case. You just need a little bit, and then if you feel like you need more, then go ahead. But I would literally use a drop and spread it around your face. And And I am going to try to see if I can sheer it out. I haven't played with that part of it. Maybe just using very, very little and like mixing it with a moisturizer and lightening it up that way. That's something that I had done before. So I think I'm going to try that, and I will let you know if that works, either in an annotation or in the comments. I'll let you know if it ended up helping me out a little bit as far as getting that on there. Okay, I am losing light rapidly, but I quickly wanted to show you. I did go ahead and I mixed some of the Zuzu Luxe oil-free liquid foundation with my Davita Solar Protective Moisturizer, like I mentioned, and it actually came out a lot better than I thought that it would. So it did make it match my skin pretty well. So I'm actually really pleased with the results of mixing those two and lightening up a little bit. I didn't put any of the powder foundation on, so I'll quickly do that. I don't think that it's really going to, yeah, so it doesn't even really darken it that much. So so that is, I think that is a pretty good option that I can use until I do find the right color or see if they have my perfect color. But this really just, ooh, good little hair. But yeah, and I don't know if it will matter what kind of moisturizer you use. This is just my regular facial moisturizer. It is, it has a lot of white in it, so because it does have zinc, so it is like a white moisturizer. So I have to really make sure that I rub it in to make sure that there isn't a white film. And so when I mix the foundation with that, it kind of helps. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I've done it before with other foundations, so that's why I thought I'd try it with this, and it worked. So hope that helps. But this is a product that I would repurchase if I can find a better shade that matches me. And then the powder, I do like the powder. I feel like it's a good quality powder. The color is, I feel like it works for me and my skin tone. I do like that when I'm going out the door and I don't want to be completely naked faced, that I can put that on and it provides an adequate amount of coverage. So it is something that I would purchase again to use alone or with another foundation. The lip pencil, I like the color, and as I stated, I don't have, you know, a lot of knowledge with lip liners to know, to compare quality, to compare what I do and don't like. I do like it. I think that in order for me to repurchase a lip liner or any lip liner is for me to really start falling in love with how it works. I need to get to that place of like adding in that extra step, but I do think that it works. I've used it mostly with my lip glosses though, so I need to play more with lipstick. I think one of the things I guess that I struggle with is like when I'm out, you know, do I go to the bathroom and I take the time to do the lip liner and then the lipstick versus just going out and like throwing on lip gloss, which doesn't really require me to use a mirror. So it's more of like, how much effort am I willing to put out there? But I did think that it was a good product, and because I don't use it a ton, like every single day, I think that it's going to last me a while. But it is something I would reconsider purchasing, especially the color. I thought the color was really good. So there, you know, that. Okay, so now we're to the lip gloss. I would repurchase this definitely, and I'm interested in checking out their other colors because I do feel like the formula is really nice. It's really moisturizing. It's really creamy. It's not sticky. I don't feel like it dries out very quick. So this is definitely something that I would repurchase, and I like the color too. Like they nailed it when they sent this color. Like this is just a wonderful color. And then I want to try out some of their other stuff. So their products are kind of on the pricey side. So I think that's where you kind of have to assess what is worth it to you. When it comes to a lip liner, I may not be willing to spend that much money on a lip liner, and I'm going to try to find something that is cheaper. I do tend to spend more money on foundations because foundations are something that, for me personally, drugstore never really worked. but I still haven't found a holy grail foundation either. So I'm always on the search for that perfect foundation. Liquid works better. My skin is dry, so using powders doesn't, you know, it always seems to kind of show my dryness. So, you know, I'm more willing to spend the money on that. For lip products, I'd like to stay on the cheaper end, but if it's a really good product that I love and I use all the time, and it's just a great, like, holy grail staple, then I will spend money on that. So hopefully that gives you some help. If you have any in-depth questions or extra questions, let me know. I don't know if this type of review was helpful for you. Like, would you rather me do each product individually, or was this format okay, where I'm putting it on and telling you what I think about it as I'm doing it? Give me some feedback on that, just so I know when I'm doing any future reviews for products. So I will list the products in the description below, and I might do a blog post as well. But I hope that you guys are all doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.